I hear these strategies all over social media, and I need to tell you this is absolutely bad advice. In today's video, I'll show you popular Instagram tips you need to stop following. Ready? Let's do this. Hi my lovely people, it's Natalia and welcome back to my channel where I share super actionable ideas on content creation for entrepreneurs and creatives. And we always talk about how you can improve your content and grow on Instagram organically here on this channel, but today we're doing something a little bit different. There's so much advice out there that's super popular, but also completely wrong that it needs to be addressed. Videos like this often end up being a little bit of a rant, but I want to give you actual reasons why those tactics can be harmful to your account. And listen, I may rant a little bit here and there because I'm so passionate about this, but hopefully it's going to help you recognize bad advice when you next see it. Without further ado, let's do this. Tactic number 1, reposting. Reposting other creators' posts may be a hack to grow on Instagram, but it's definitely a wrong strategy. Let's quickly look at the Instagram community guidelines. The very first point they make is that you should only share photos or videos you've taken or have the right to share, and not to post anything you've copied or collected from the internet. This is where the supposedly magic trick is falling into pieces quickly. When reposting is done without a written permission from the original creator, it's basically stealing. And I feel like it's an important point to make here, but even if you credit someone but still have no express consent, it's still theft and still against the community guidelines. That creator may be gracious enough or even thank you for sharing, but the truth is they could just as well file an infringement form against you and they'd be in the right here. I'm sure I don't have to explain to you that it's really bad if it happens and can get you banned if you're a repeat offender. Many people don't realize it and mindlessly repost content thinking they're providing value and actually supporting the creator, but they're not. You may disagree with me here, but to me, clearly it's piggybacking on someone else's hard work. If you've ever spent time creating even one piece of content, you know very well how much work and thought goes into it. You know what's a much better way to support a creator? Share their posts to your stories. Of course, I'm talking about using the share functionality and not reposting to stories. When you share it like this, it benefits the creator, but you can also add your 2 cents to their post and talk about it from your perspective. Having curated stories like this can really help create value in the community without taking away from the original creator. Clearly a win-win. Now, if all I've said is still not enough to convince you that reposting is a bad tactic, maybe this will. We have a new update from Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, who has recently announced that the algorithm will reward original content. We don't know yet what that's going to look like specifically, but we can be sure that original creators will be favored over reposters or theme pages. Hopefully, this new algorithm update will seriously affect the performance of stolen content so it's no longer worth it. I also want people to know that having your content reposted without your permission is not okay, and there's actually a super easy way to report it. If you'd like to know more about this, I can definitely create a video like that for you, so let me know in the comments if you'd like me to record one. In response to this update, I've already seen some people advise to change this reposted content in some way to not have it penalized by the algorithm. And that's so wrong, still against the community guidelines, and still theft. It can be zoomed in, have new text on it, it can be cut with transitions, but it all doesn't matter when it's reposted without permission. So stay far away from reposting content without permission and maybe consider creating original content yourself. If you really don't feel like it's for you, then you need to realize changes are coming, and reposting content even completely ethically and with permission is still not going to do as well as original content. It's just the reality of it. Tactic number 2, tagging people in photos with no relevance. If you've been on IG for a while, you may know that tagging a bunch of big accounts was a tactic back in the day. And let me just say this, 5 years ago, it used to sort of help you grow. I used to do it myself. It was a huge tactic in the travel community, especially tagging big theme pages. And if you don't know what theme pages are, they are basically those big accounts that feature other creators' work on them. And by the way, they often repost without the creator's consent, to my previous point. The main idea was that if you got a repost from a big account like that, there would be a percentage of their followers that will actually then check out your account if they like the original photo. And apart from that, every time you tagged a page, it would appear in their tagged feed, meaning people browsing it would see your post too. Today, this Instagram tip is outdated at best and annoying and shady at worst. First of all, it's not really a valid way to get followers anymore. Sure, some people may still check you out, but it's not the same as it used to be. Besides, nowadays creators have much more control over who tags them in posts. You can simply enable manual tag approval feature, which means every time someone tags you, it doesn't go straight to your tagged feed, but instead lands in the pending tags tab where you can approve it from there. And let me tell you, from my perspective, I don't allow the majority of the tags for that exact reason. People tag me in the most random, completely irrelevant posts, and I honestly have no clue why I'm even there, so what's the point of me accepting it? My rule is, if I don't know how I would even comment on a post I'm tagged in, there's absolutely no reason it should go on the tagged feed. This also means that when people do tag me because they've used one of my tutorials, they're trying out some of my tactics, or they're just sharing the love, it's super easy to find it there, and frankly, I love to get tagged in posts like that. That's why remember to always tag relevant accounts in your posts, because let's face it, there are better ways to grow than tagging random people. Tactic number 3, follow unfollow game. And speaking of growing, this is a tactic that for many reasons drives me nuts. 1, because it's annoying and in my opinion slightly disrespectful, and 2, because it's still very much advertised as this holy grail of Instagram growth when it's clearly not, at least not in the right way. So let's unpack it here. For those of you who don't know what follow unfollow is, it's basically when you follow other people only to get them to follow you back and then unfollow them after a bit of time. When it's not very sophisticated, you just randomly follow a bunch of people daily and wait for some of them to follow you back. If there's more thought behind it, you do a bit of research, meaning you try to reach more targeted people. This usually involves going to big accounts in your niche and seeing who liked or commented on their recent posts and then following them. Now, this is so completely backwards, I can't even express how much I despise this tactic. First of all, giving people attention only to get attention and then blatantly unfollowing them when your little goal is reached is a lousy way to treat people in general. There, I said it. Sorry, not sorry. You're basically playing tricks on people. It's just not a great way to build a tight community that's engaged and feels appreciated, and may I just add, this exactly is a much better goal than chasing vanity metrics in any case. Secondly, when you get those followers, they essentially did not come to you because they value what you put out there. They became followers to return a favor in a way. And yes, some of them may appreciate the content over time, but for most of them, seeing your content in their feed is not going to mean much. They will have very little clue as to who you are because they only followed you because you followed them. And even if they checked you out, they didn't have a strong internal reason to follow you in the first place. People like this are less likely to engage, which in the long run is actually harming your account. When they don't engage, your engagement rate drops, the algorithm notices you may not be the right account to show to similar people, and eventually your reach drops too. I'm not even going to mention how much time goes into playing the follow unfollow game, time that you could be spending on learning about your audience and improving your content. And if you overdo it and follow too many people per day or unfollow too many, you can be flagged by Instagram for suspicious activities and banned from following or unfollowing for a day or two. And I hope you know that it's not really good for your account, and if you get a strike like that a few times, you can get temporarily or permanently banned. Just a word of warning. Tactic number 4, DMing to get engagement. Another tactic to boost your visibility is sending posts to random people asking for them to like, share, or comment. And same goes for commenting on their profile saying, "Oh, I love this post. It's so good. I'd appreciate it if you checked my account out." This is not how engagement works. Just like with the previous points, sliding into someone's DMs to ask for them to interact with a post will only get people to do them a favor of sorts. They may show their support in that moment, but if that engagement didn't come naturally to them, chances are without another DM, they're not going to keep it up. The Instagram algorithm recognizes engagement and shows your content to people who interact with you more regularly. If this interaction doesn't happen more, it's going to mean that the content may not be as good because, hey, they didn't engage again, so it must not be, right? I always relate the social media world to how the real world operates because it should be based on the same principles. Just as you wouldn't come up to random people in a shop asking to like and comment on your post, you shouldn't do that on IG. By all means, slide into your best friend's DM if you feel like it and say you've just posted because they care about you and will gladly support you. And I'm sure they would have done it without you even asking. Tactic number 5, DMing to get business. Staying on the subject of DMs, here's one of my biggest pet peeves on IG. Cold DMs that seem very friendly, offering to genuinely connect as a fellow creator, only to then start pitching you something in the next few sentences. This is not a way to grow on IG, let alone do business. Cold calling may have a place in time, but this ain't it. Side note, I've always hated doing cold outreach with my whole heart because even if I worked in sales, it was a big part of my duties. It's just not who I am. Maybe that's why I gravitate towards building a community and creating value much more, because that's how you get warm leads. Anyways, you may not agree with me on this, but approaching people in this covert way, pretending to want to make a connection, is again a lousy way to treat people. Even if we're talking about strictly business connections, imagine you met someone at a networking event and they introduce themselves, tell you how interested they are in you, and then literally try to sell you something on the spot. Not a person I'd like to do business with or refer others to use their products or services. That may just be my opinion, so tell me if you're feeling otherwise and if you've ever received a DM like that. Tactic number 6, hijacking traffic with comments. There's another tactic I feel kind of iffy about, and that's commenting on other people's comments under another creator's post. I hope you get me here. For me, this is treading on a very thin line because it's amazing when it's contributing to the conversation in a genuine way, but if it's a way to divert eyes onto yourself, then it's so shady. This is another tactic I've heard many times, and some of the experts were even shameless enough to say, steal some traffic for yourself. Thin line. That's a dark side of giving engagement that I frankly disagree with on Instagram. And again, I'm sure there's going to be people that don't agree with me here. Personally, for me, someone who always prioritizes real connections over traffic and traction just doesn't sit right with me. I've seen really fantastic conversation under big creators' posts started by a few different people from the same niche, and they always led to some great insights. But when someone tries to hijack that traffic, it's always so transparent and obvious both to the person whose comment they're replying to and to other people who are just looking. Why I think it's bad? Because it's slightly shady and can really reflect poorly on how your brand is perceived. Again, this one is a very thin line because some people will not care or not even notice, but for some, it may put them off your brand completely. I've had many conversations about this sort of thing and opinions are divided, but I'm going to stand my ground here. If you deploy comments to hijack someone else's traffic, it's just tacky. But if you use that same power to create meaningful conversations, you're contributing to the community, which can bring you better results in the long run. Let me know what you think about it. I'm very curious to learn your opinion here. Now, if you've ever used any of those tactics to grow, I want you to know that there are much better ways to do it. I've recently shared a video about gaining followers organically using up-to-date tactics, so it's definitely worth a watch. I'm confident that if you apply those tips consistently, you're going to get real results. I'm so happy you've stayed with me till the very end, so thank you so much. It's definitely hard to expose those kind of popular but very shady tactics, so give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. I'll know it's worth creating more videos like this. Have a fabulous day, and I'll see you next time.